When the COVID pandemic hit, I became aware of the fact that my social life was going to disappear if I couldn't conquer my pathetic intolerance of the cold. This led to a quest to find the best way of staying warm outside. Fire is the obvious first solution, and I already had a chimney, so gave this a go. Unfortunately, the heat largely comes out of the front, so I copied a design that uses an old washing machine drum to create a fire pit. The heat distribution was better, but there are still 3 big drawbacks. 1, you need to get pretty close to feel any real benefit in terms of the heat. This is impossible when you have to stay 2 meters apart. 2, to create any decent heat, you have to burn through quite a lot of wood, which is quite costly both in terms of money and the environment. And 3, at the end of the evening, you end up feeling like a smoked kipper with all your clothes stinking of smoke, in addition to the impact on your lungs. The main issue here is that ambient heating devices are wildly inefficient. Any heat you generate instantly gets lost to the environment. It's no surprise that France have banned patio heaters for environmental reasons. So I turned to the idea of contact heating close to the body instead. First of all, I bought an electric overblanket, but this didn't produce enough heat, so I sent it back. Heat on top of you also isn't very efficient. It's better to heat behind you where it can be contained. Next was an electric blanket off a bed, and finally it felt like I was getting somewhere. The low energy heat behind you slowly builds up and does a decent job of keeping you warm. But electric blankets run at 240 volts, which isn't a great idea outside, and the heating elements aren't designed to be bent into the shape of a chair. As an alternative, my dad suggested heated car seat covers, so did a test with one of these, and all my outdoor heating dreams came true. Now, before I go into the details, I have to be clear that nowhere does it suggest that these should be used anywhere other than a car, so please bear that in mind, especially in terms of staying away from rain or any kind of moisture. The heat covers run off 12 volts from a cigarette lighter socket, so I bought a mains transformer with a cigarette lighter socket at the end, making sure that the transformer could handle the power requirements of the seat. The seats are 45 watts, so I bought a transformer that was rated at 120 watts, 10 amps, which could be used to power 2 seat covers. The power is split between 2 seats using a cigarette lighter socket splitter, but you have to be careful to find one that can handle the power. Many of the splitters available aren't rated for the 90 watts that is needed, so be careful to check this. The seat covers rely on the slow build-up of heat over time rather than the strong radiant heat that you get from a patio heater. At 45 watts each, 2 chairs use less energy than a 100-watt light bulb. In terms of cost, I plugged the seats into an energy meter and calculated that each seat costs 0.96 pence per hour to run based on an electricity cost of 14.69 pence per kilowatt hour, so that's less than 1 pence per hour per seat. By comparison, an infrared patio heater like this goes up to 2000 watts, which would be equivalent to 44 heated seat covers. If you have 4 people outside using 4 seat covers, it would therefore be 10 times more energy efficient, assuming you are sharing just one patio heater, which is more difficult when socially distanced. I bought my seat covers from Argos for £20 each, and they have 2 heat settings, low and high. The power transformer cost £16 from Amazon, and this cigarette lighter splitter was £6 from eBay, although I've subsequently found a better option for £10 from Amazon, which allows you to stay more socially distanced. In total, 2 seat covers therefore cost £66 or £33 each, excluding the cost of the chair, of course. I've put links to what I bought in the description below this video. The final element to this outdoor heating solution is wearing warm clothes and having a blanket over the top. This is important in terms of trapping the heat. If it gets really cold, an added hot water bottle on your lap is the final touch. Take my word for it, it works really well. If you try this out, just make sure you never use the seat covers in wet weather and keep all the electronics, including the transformer, away from any moisture. Ideally, the transformer would be kept inside and only the 12-volt elements would be outside. For added safety, I would strongly suggest using a plug-in RCD circuit breaker, which can be bought for around £10. Again, I've added this to the list of things I bought, which you can see in the video description. You can keep the connectors off the ground using a bucket or similar. As I mentioned, none of these products are designed for outdoor use, so use at your own risk. I was nervous about putting this video out because it's obviously a makeshift solution and I'm not a qualified electrician, but if ever there was a time to improvise, it's probably now. I've not seen anything on the market like this beyond low voltage heated camping seats, but they're only designed for the summer. Maybe someone will design something in time, who knows. Anyway, here's hoping this solution might give other wimps like me a way to stay social this COVID winter.